In this video, I'd like to show you 5 poses that you need to know before your first yoga class. These are the basics of yoga, and it's good to know what they are because you hear these terms all the time and you're like, I don't know what that is. Okay, so before we start, if you would, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. It helps me make more videos like this for you. Also, I have a PDF for you that's on the URL below the screen and in the description below. Okay, so let's talk about the 5 basic poses that you should know for yoga. The first one is called Sukasana, and that means easy pose, and that's basically sitting in an easy posture like this. And you cross your legs, and then you can put your hands like this. You might see people doing this. This is called a mudra, and what that is supposed to do is it keeps the energy from flowing out of your fingertips, and it goes back into your brain to strengthen your concentration. So you can do that if you'd like to. You can just have the hands open. You can have the hands down. I like the hands open because that tends to open the shoulders when you're first starting. If you have the hands down, you might kind of slump down. Now, when you're in this pose, it is an easy pose, but I would invite you to do 2 things. I'm a right legger. I just always put my right leg in front. I think, when we're babies, we're young, the first time in kindergarten, when we have story time, we cross our legs and we just choose a direction, and then the rest of our lives, we keep doing that. So I invite you to switch your legs so that your non-habitual leg, or I call it the strange leg, is in front, because Hatha, which is Hatha yoga, Ha means sun, Tha means moon, and Hatha is about balancing your body. So this is one of the first things that you can start to balance. It's like, gosh, that feels weird having my other leg in front, but we want to create balance, so that's a good thing. The second thing I would say is that this is the part of our bodies that makes us old. If you're like this, look, imagine the internal organs in there. They're like, do you think you could lift up a little bit? We're trying to squish some things down here. When you lift up, your internal organs are like, yes, there's plenty of room to do what we need to do. So we want to elongate the lower spine. This is very important in yoga. So what I like to tell people to do is take your fingertips, put it on your hip bone right there, and then take your thumb and put it on the bottom of your rib cage. And what you want to do is stretch that as far as you can. Really stretch that up. Now see if you can do it without lifting the shoulders. At first I couldn't separate those 2 things, but after you do it a while, you'll be able to separate that bottom part. Keep that length in your lower spine. That's so good. Think about your vertebrae, how happy they are. And what I like to do is with that length, do a little twist to the right. Hold that for a couple of breaths. Yes. Coming back towards the center, twist a little bit to the left. And that is really helping to oil up that lower spine. Feels so good. Okay, so that's easy pose, or Sukasana. The next pose that we're going to do is called child's pose. And this is a resting pose. So whenever you're in a yoga class, you know what? It's your class. If you need to rest, rest. It's very wise. So take rest when you need to. Okay, this is child's pose. What you do is you bring your knees together like this. Now, some people can't do that. You might have your knees apart, and you just let your whole body go down to the floor. Now, sometimes the arms are in front, but the classic pose is with the arms to the sides of, try not to get on this microphone here. Here we go. With the arms really relaxed by your sides. Feels so good. Inhale deeply. Exhale deeply. Inhale deeply. Exhale deeply. Palms are up. This is such a nice way to let the shoulders totally relax. But if you're trying to stretch your arms, you can have the arms in front. Some teachers do it this way. Some teachers have you spread your knees kind of wide and then reach through. See what feels good to you. You can do it either way. One thing that I would suggest when you're in the child's pose, it's a good way to start feeling the breath in your in your back. So when you're here, you got your tummy kind of compressed, and you can really, you can start to feel the air. There's a lot of room in the lungs in the back, and most people, there is belly breathing. That is one way of breathing, but I'm inviting you to open up your lungs in the other part of your chest. So that's child's pose. We did easy pose, child's pose. Now we're going to do down dog. You've probably heard this one a lot. Down dog is when you put your hands like this, and you start like this, and what you're going to do is curl your toes under, and then slowly, slowly try to stretch the back of your legs. Now, your heels may not touch the floor at first, that's fine, but eventually you want to stretch forward. Avoid doing this where you're actually pushing your chest through your arms. You want your chest and arms and head to be nice and lined up, very, very strong. This is much stronger than this, okay? So Stretch forth. That's down dog. Do the best you can. You might need to walk your hands out a little bit. You might need to walk your hands in a little bit. And some people, they call it walking the dog. Just go ahead and, tread through your toes a little bit. But the main thing is to find the stillness. If you can lift your tummy up in the middle of doing that, that's even better. Okay, and then you're going to come down by bending your knees, letting the feet relax, and coming back up to sitting. So those are 3 poses. I'm going to show you 2 more. These are called Warrior 1 and Warrior 2, just so you know what they are when you go into a class. Now, Warrior 1, just imagine my mat is this way because I want you to be able to see this from the front. You're going to step forward with one of your feet, and then your back foot, turn that out a little bit. Now, one thing people do when they start is they're on a tightrope like this. Make sure that you're on railroad tracks. That's better. It's much more stable, see, at the width of the hip. Now, women, it might be a little farther because our hips tend to be a little wider. For men, it might be a little narrower. Okay, so you're a good distance apart, and then you're going to bend your front knee. Now, don't let your knee go over your foot. You want your knee to stay over your ankle, and that's really, really strong that way. Then you're going to bring your arms up. Now, what you're doing actually is you want to make sure that that hip of the bent knee is not coming forward like this. We want the hips to be facing forward. Sometimes people talk about having headlights on your hips, both going forward like this, and then lift your tummy up as much as you can. You're going to see my body change when I lift my tummy up. See that? You want to lift your tummy up. Make sure that you're feeling your back foot like this. You don't want that knee coming in. You want almost like your back leg is twisting open, like the knee is opening this way. You should feel on the outside of that back foot, you should feel that very strongly, and you should feel a nice bend in your front knee. Now, if you're a little older, you could do it to this degree. It still works. And if you wanted to go even further, if you're a little more in shape, you can do this too. All of them work. Okay, that's Warrior 1. Warrior 1 is what they call closed hips. Warrior 2 is with open hips. So your hips are going to be flat. Same thing where you've got one foot facing this way. The other one is kind of turned in a little bit. Everybody's foot's a little different. It might be 45-degree angle for you. Might be 50. Might be less than that. But you want to have a good feeling in both feet. And what you're going to do is bend the front knee. And look how my hips are. The headlights are this way. Before they were that way. Now they're this way. That's Warrior 2. You bring up your arms. And you look over the hand that's with the bent knee. And you want to take a look behind you. Make sure that this arm isn't here or too far back. Sometimes I see people like this with their arm way back there. Make sure it's kind of one line going forward like this. Okay, and that's Warrior 2. One way to really, a little tip is lift your toes, and you should feel equal weight in your big toe ball, your baby toe ball, and your heel in both feet. If you're rolling in or you're rolling out, if you see that your legs change, that means you weren't in the right position. Lifting your toes is a good trick to make sure you're in the right position. Those are the first 5. I hope that helps you. You can see the next video, which is the next 5 you should know.